Okay, so good morning to all the students. And now we are going to discuss toxicity of micronutrients. Please mute. Okay, so given heading is toxicity of micronutrients only given. So the critical concentration of micronutrients is narrow range, means small quantity only. Critical concentration of micronutrients, narrow ranges, means small quantities. Small quantity only. So if the concentration of inorganic nutrient, micronutrient beyond critical concentration, less than critical concentration. If it is less than critical concentration, less than critical, take critical as optimum, leads to less than critical concentration, leads to deficiency symptom. And more than critical concentration leads to toxicity. Okay, so second point we have to discuss, more than required means over concentration. More than required leads to what? Toxicity. And in your textbook, the given statement, the concentration of micronutrient at which if the growth is at which the growth is the growth not growth, dry weight, take dry weight, at which the dry weight of a tissue is reduced by 10% is called as toxic. So the concentration at which the dry weight of a tissue is reduced by 10%. So that concentration is called as a toxic concentration. Okay, and one more thing, it is not easy to decide and understand deficiency symptoms and toxic symptoms, particularly in the case of toxic symptoms, the concentration is very narrow ranges only, 0.012 grams, like that. Senescent means old leaves, old, senescent, going to die, going to die, going to die, going to die. Is mute. Now it is better. Please chat with me. Some people are, by mistake, they are doing so-called nuisance, please. They don't know. Chat with me better. Some people are creating nuisance. Noise is coming from somewhere, some side. Okay, leave it. So remember the definition of that one, toxic symptom. So it is not easy to understand a deficiency symptom and a toxic symptom. More in the case of micronutrients, it is not very easy to decide toxic symptoms. Reason, the optimum concentration of micronutrient is a narrow range, small quantities only. So we can't measure that one properly. That is a problem. Of course, we are having so many tests and equipments to measure concentration of narrow ranges of micronutrients and macronutrients. Nowadays we have, but anyhow, it is very difficult. Okay, and one more statement given one in NCERT: over concentration, more than required, high concentration of an element is able to prevent or stops. High concentration of an element is able to reduce, is able to impact, or is able to impact the concentration of other element. Concentration of other element, whatever the element. For that one, we are having one example. What is that example? The given example is toxicity of overconcentration of manganese given. Overconcentration of manganese. High concentration of manganese. Overconcentration of manganese. High concentration of manganese is able to reduce uptake and maintenance of optimum concentration of three types of inorganic nutrients. So high concentration of Mn is toxic according to given statement. More than critical is toxic. For example, 0.0 grams of Mn is required for optimum growth and development. If it is more than that, 5 grams, 6 grams, 10 grams, like that, it is toxic. So the given symptom is a toxic symptom is overconcentration of toxic symptom of Mn is brown spot, brown colored spot, brown spot surrounded by chlorotic vein was given. The given toxic symptom is brown spot surrounded by chlorotic vein was given. Brown spot surrounded by chlorotic vein. For example, brown spot surrounded by chlorotic vein. Almost loss of chlorophyll, disorganization of chlorophyll. Okay, so it is actually deficiency symptom of three inorganic nutrients. So here high concentration of Mn, high concentration of manganese inhibits optimum concentration of three inorganic nutrients. What are they? iron, magnesium, and calcium also. Okay. So here high concentration of Mn is able to reduce optimum concentration of these three elements. So high concentration of Mn is able to reduce. So high concentration of Mn increasing. And what about the concentration of optimum concentration of iron, magnesium, calcium is decreasing. So that spot, that a deficiency symptom means a toxic symptom, sorry. Given toxic symptom is really this a brown spot surrounded by chlorotic vein. Really a deficiency symptom of iron, magnesium, and calcium. So we are saying that the brown spot surrounded by chlorotic vein is toxic symptom of Mn. In reality, it is deficiency symptom of iron, magnesium, and calcium. So here, what about the role of negative impact of manganese? So one, manganese Mn competes for the enzyme concerned with magnesium. Some enzyme, whatever the enzyme, that enzyme is concerned with maintenance and transportation of magnesium, for example. So Mn is able to stop concentration of magnesium or transportation of magnesium by inhibiting the enzymatic activity concerned with magnesium. And the second one, it prevents translocation. These statements are very, very important. Translocation of calcium within shoot apex. Okay. So that is about toxicity of micronutrients. So high concentration of Mn, yes, toxic. Yes, you can take that one, toxic. But really, brown spot surrounded by chlorotic vein is deficiency symptom of iron, magnesium, calcium. These three are deficient because of high concentration of Mn. High concentration of any element is said to be, micronutrient is said to be toxic. So Mn is a micronutrient and able to inhibit a concentration of iron. Iron is a micronutrient. Magnesium also. Magnesium is a macronutrient. And calcium is a macronutrient. So micro, macro, macronutrients. So that is about toxicity of micronutrients. Copy it, take down. Take the screenshot, please. Take the screenshot. Take the screenshot, please. Completed? Okay, now I am erasing the board. Absorption of inorganic nutrients. At the time of demonstration of absorption of inorganic nutrients by plants, they are taking isolated cells, tissues, and organs only. So we are using, they are using, scientists have been using, they are using, scientists using isolated cells, tissues, and organs to study absorption and translocation, absorption and translocation of inorganic nutrients. Inorganic nutrients. They have been using individual cells, tissues, organs to demonstrate how the plant is able to absorb inorganic nutrients. Most of the inorganic nutrients are absorbed in ionic form only. If they are in ionic form, compulsory carrier protein is required. So here we can divide absorption of inorganic nutrients into two parts. So we can divide absorption of or uptake of nutrients into two. What are they? One is outer space or free space. So what is that outer space? Cell walls, non-living region, plus intercellular spaces. So it is nothing but apoplast movement only. Apoplast. So apoplast means free movement, no restrictions. The movement of materials through the cell wall, intercellular spaces, free movement means no restrictions, no metabolic end. And what about the second one? Inner space. Inner space. Inner space is nothing but symplast. Symplast, apoplast, well known. Through the membrane, living regions. Okay. And through the inner space, it is either passive. This one is 100% passive only. Passive transport. Here, inner space is either passive or active. Mostly it is active. Mostly active. And generally it requires membrane protein. Generally, carrier proteins concerned with transportation of materials. Transmembrane proteins are required. Transmembrane proteins. And usually ATP dependent. ATP and living system dependent. Okay. So movement of inorganic nutrients through the membrane, through the epidermis, general cortex, endodermis, pericycle. Okay. In the living regions, generally it is symplast. But what about xylem, vessels and tracheids? That is apoplast only. Okay, right? So that is about outer space and inner space. And one more thing. For example, this is a xylem part. And this is a phloem part. Xylem and the phloem part. So we are saying that xylem is concerned with the transportation of inorganic nutrients, not only inorganic, plus organic. What are the organic? Nitrogen in the form of amino acid. Amino acid. So maximum amount of nitrogen is transported in organic form, only amino acids, and some amount of phosphorus, sulfur in organic form. Okay, so out of total nitrogen absorbed, translocated by the plant is in maximum part is in organic form and some amount in inorganic form. But what about phosphate and sugar? Maximum amount is in inorganic form, some amount is in organic form. So xylem is concerned with the transportation of not only inorganic but also organic. And what about phloem? Only organic? Not only organic, plus inorganic also. Reason, exchange of materials is possible between phloem and xylem. So that's why both are able to transport organic and inorganic components. But maximum part of xylem transport is inorganic, some extent organic. Phloem transport, maximum organic, some extent inorganic. So to trace out the various inorganic nutrients, we have been using tracer elements, tracer or radioactive elements to trace out a translocation of nutrients, inorganic nutrients, radioactive isotopes. So we can study transportation of inorganic nutrient. What type of inorganic nutrient is transported through the xylem? We can demonstrate and we can understand that one with the help of tracer element. Tracer element is nothing but a radioactive element. Tracer. With the help of that, we can trace out something. Tracer element. Tracer element is not small amount. Tracer, tracing out. That is a radioactive isotope. Radioactive isotope. So trace elements are radioactive isotopes. With the help of radioactive isotopes, we are able to understand various metabolic reactions taking place within the concerned organism. Okay, so tracer element is radioactive element only. Okay. So that is about so-called toxic symptoms and absorption of nutrients. And tomorrow we will see what about a soil as a reservoir of inorganic nutrients. We will see that one tomorrow. Okay. Bye. See you. We will meet tomorrow.